Hey fam, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to another reaction. This is Segovia coming to you live from the man cave. Hope everyone out there's having a good Friday, y'all. Happy Friday. We're back with another hour banger for y'all. I ain't gonna chit chat too much. We saved that for the end of the video. So sit back, relax, grab your drink, and enjoy the show.
If the ice isn't floating, don't drink it. There is something in the drink. Never sleep with your windows open. Typing 444 will turn on TikTok's dark mode. Leave a note on a table before you leave the house. If you come back and it's gone, leave the house immediately and call the police. There is no name that starts with an S and ends with S. If you're ever in a falling elevator, lay flat on your back. Don't walk down the stairs with your hands in your pockets. CNN has had a pre-recorded broadcast from the 90s, which they will premiere during the end of the world. A mysterious unknown Russian radio station has been broadcasting a strange buzzing, punctuated by intermittent code words, since 1973. 23% of children under the age of 13 have experienced auditory illusions, meaning they've heard voices.
They're all in on the club, y'all. All of them. You know, if you guys watch that video I posted about the guy that had a hallucination that he saw Jay-Z, the devil in Jay-Z, links in the bio if you want to check it out for my second channel. But what he said in there was their goal is to take as many of us with them to hell. That's the devil's plan, right? He wants to take as much people, God's people, to hell with them. And you see at these concerts that have masses of people, 10, 20, 50,000 people, and they put these things back there, Satan, they're dressed as a devil. And it just, if you watch, like going back and watching that, for me, it makes a lot of that stuff is things they do.
Many moons ago, the Grammys asked me to perform. They came to my studio, listened to the record.
I mean, look at that. She's talking to a priest. I mean, just things like that they put in their concerts or in their music videos, and subliminally it does something to us, I think.
Yeah. Agreed, they liked it, everything. And it just so happened that Whitney Houston passed away. And when I was about to go on stage, they came into my dressing room and said, "We don't think you should perform." And there was no one there that even spoke up for me. Like, they didn't care to explain it. Nobody on either side spoke. This is after I had just done a bunch of commercials to promote the Grammys. Right. And I said, no, I'm gonna perform. And I didn't understand the power that man had to start to completely blackball me for the rest of my career. But that's exactly what happened.
And the Grammy goes to
Bonnie Bear.
Ooh. She did fall off a cliff, right? Nicki Minaj was it, you know, not too long ago, what, 2014, 2013? Like, she was on top, the number one, and I didn't know that's what happened. She got blackballed, y'all. They blacklisted her off the top of the list.
Many.
Jeffrey Hinton, seen as the godfather of artificial intelligence, has quit his job at Google, warning of the dangers of AI.
Does humanity know what it's doing? No. I think we're moving into a period when, for the first time ever, we may have things more intelligent than us.
You believe they can understand?
Yes.
You believe they are intelligent?
Yes.
You believe these systems have experiences of their own and can make decisions based on those experiences?
In the same sense as people do, yes.
Are they conscious?
I think they probably don't have much self-awareness at present. So in that sense, I don't think they're conscious.
Will they have self-awareness?
Oh, yes. I think they will in time.
And so human beings will be the second most intelligent beings on the planet.
Yeah, but as soon as it gets really complicated, we don't actually know what's going on any more than we know what's going on in your brain.
What do you mean we don't know exactly how it works? It was designed by people.
No, it wasn't. What we did was we designed the learning algorithm. That's a bit like designing the principle of evolution. But when this learning algorithm then interacts with data, it produces complicated neural networks that are good at doing things, but we don't really understand exactly how they do those things.
2024 is bringing a tsunami to California? This is very real. I'm not making this crap up. If you're in this area right here, you better go find your local news. Before we get started, you remember the earthquake dude in California? Really quickly, he said that God gave him a vision or a dream that there's a giant earthquake coming, so he came to warn people. So there was quite literally a 7.3 earthquake in California, and the tsunami alarms are literally going off right now. Somebody has had to have hit bingo with this one. On a serious note, this is not a joking matter. And just to show you this is serious, they're doing evacuations right now.
That I'm very, very far back into the distant view, but it made me feel a little safer. And Gianna, how did they alert you that it was time to get to higher ground? Was it just on your phone?
Here's the alert.
Yeah, this is the largest earthquake we are tracking, but it's not the only earthquake we are tracking. When you have a large earthquake, it can typically strike and create other earthquakes.
Do I think there's going to be a tsunami though? Probably not, but I do think this is a very good indicator of our future. But anyways, if there is going to be a tsunami, it would be around now, when you're watching this probably. And the craziest part of this whole thing is the Evacuate California dude left a few months ago. He said, screw this, I'm out, it's about to go down.
Telling everybody, man, evacuate California right now before the San Andreas split.
Well, what's bigger than 5 million people off the Pacific coast needing to be warned of a tsunami? What's bigger than a 7.0 on the coast of California? And I got an alert on my phone this morning. What's bigger than that? Well, what's bigger than that is this. This is the Wanda Fuca plate. And if you take some time and look up the YouTube for Dutch Sensei, he's amazing at earthquake stuff and earthquake predictions. And he's been predicting, at least since last year, probably further back, that if we get large earthquakes on this Wanda Fuca plate, it's a big deal, and it's very, very dangerous. It could trigger something bigger, but it's a very big deal because it's a subduction zone, and this is a very fragile area. And he has predicted before that if you have big earthquakes in this Wanda Fuca plate area, that could trigger bigger catastrophic style stuff. So just make sure that you're keeping your eyes peeled, make sure that you're prepared, and most of all, make sure that you're saved and that you trust in Jesus for salvation. So anyway, just wanted to warn you, it's bigger than just an earthquake there, and bigger than a tsunami warning. It could be way worse. So, or at least it could get worse in the future. So just keep your eyes peeled.
We are not seeing indications on our modeling that this is going to be a significant water level event in the ocean that would make a tsunami. Our modeling suggests that we're not going to see destructive waves over 30 centimeters above tide, which is good. Tsunamis at high tide, of course, can be worse. We're not expecting a problem in this case. And those are levels that if we were seeing something like that, we would have a much different situation on our hands, and that's just not the case. The good news is that smaller earthquakes, while 7 is not necessarily small, for tsunami it is, and that it's the lower end of our procedures for alerts, and we're just not expecting this to have a significant impact locally for you in California or anywhere across the U.S. West Coast or Canada.
So you're looking at Oh shit.
What's that, y'all? Hell no. Fuck yeah. I don't know if that was really in California, but still, I would not be in a high rise in earthquake territory. The whole thing's swinging.
Okay.
And then this area is closed for archaeological stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the South Mountain guy here. And check this out. I know a lot of you have been on this mountain since you were a kid. Millions and millions and millions of times. But if you don't know nothing about the Hohokam people, the very first civilization of Phoenix, Arizona, and their artwork and their whole civilization, you just won't know what to look for. There's another giant head. There's another piece of the giant head statue. I'm telling you, up on this mountain used to be the giant statue with heads. And this whole ravine right here, this whole rock quarry is full of the blasted heads and pieces of those statues to the south.
I want to go hike South Mountain with this guy.
In closing, allow me to reiterate.
There's our president, y'all. He don't give a fuck no more. Shouts out to Joe Biden, not giving a fuck no more. Leave a like for that, y'all. Check him out. Look at him. He's off in La La Land. You want to wake up? All right, $1 billion. You got it. $1 billion. $1 billion. Go back to sleep. That's funny.
If you were freaked out by the movie The Descent, you might want to skip this video.
Dude, the mystery deepens. We hear water down there too. There's like a whole river down there or something. Maybe it's a cave. But we think it's an abandoned mine because we see a metal pipe down there. So unless the end of this casing just fell off, we got a lot of comments that said maybe this is like a well casing or something. Maybe that just fell off down there, but I don't know. Let's we got a brighter flashlight. Let's see what we can see. Alright. Sending it.
Just dudes doing dude things in the woods. It's a deep hole. Do hear some breathing. That was a deep hole, y'all. Air pockets.
Y'all, I am utterly flabbergasted right now. This was just recorded over Arizona. I mean, this is getting straight up ridiculous. Everywhere. There's a whole lot of people that are...
You know what's crazy, y'all? This is how crazy our times are now. I got a comment yesterday of a dude saying, quit posting UFO videos. I'm sick of them. They're everywhere. Like, think about how crazy that sounds. Think about that was 1990. That's how much content people are getting on their phones daily, every minute, every hour, that posting a UFO video of a object that's not from our world our dimension, and he's sick of seeing them, y'all. Think about that. How crazy is that? Like, are we going to eventually walk outside and just see a UFO and give them a salute and go about our day? Is that where we're going? Because that's where we're going with seeing it with our eyes on a screen. Is it eventually going to be oversaturated when we go outside and see a big old flying saucer just chilling there? Like, it's crazy, y'all. The comments that, you know, it's just, we're so filled with content, stuff like this daily. Are you guys sick of UFO? You want me to quit posting these, y'all?
Crap their pants.
That tripped me out when I read that.
It's not all Project
Look at that.
Creepy.
Look at that
There's
thing.
some other things going on. Maybe a little bit under the earth, maybe a little bit in the
If
sky.
that ain't a conspiracy, what is?
People aren't aware of. And this one was just in California. So let me fill you in on a little bit of what we're seeing. So we have...
Can't please them all, y'all. I try. Lord knows I try.
We have demonic spirits, which are spirits. Then we have biological beings created by the fallen angels to hold the spirits of the demons that can match frequencies with objects and walk through walls. And that, my friends, is what you call a gray. But there's much more than grays out there. This thing is sitting there as a being of light changing its form. Therefore, it's a fallen angel. It could be a normal angel, but most likely a fallen angel. You can even see these things coming off the top of his head like antennas. Be crazy, right? We have fallen angels that are trying to appear as aliens. We have actual grays that are biological creatures. We also have demonic spirits that are screwing with all the people. We also have reverse engineered crap looking just like theirs, which they have been paying the photographers to say it was a hoax. But a lot of money behind everything. I can't say everything. And of course, we have the least threatening being the holograms. There's many more things I'm not speaking of. By the way, when the fallen angels fell, they took on the form of serpents. I'll let you put that together.
Y'all ever do that? Like, just at the Suns game I went to the other last week or whatever. Just take a break or at the restaurant, just sit there and just look around at people. Families, just everyone's like this. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. Like, we are in like a simulation. It's crazy.
March 17, 1990. Two members of the
I
rock
was
and
7
roll
days
band
old.
Red Hot Chili Peppers have been arrested on charges. They leaped from the stage during a spring break performance and attacked a woman in the audience. Bass guitarist, known by the stage name Flea, was charged with battery, disorderly conduct, and solicitation. Drummer Chad Smith, 28, was charged with battery. Authorities said the woman was bruised and shaken. I think she sustained the injuries by trying to fight them off, when she was slammed to the ground by one of them. The other bruise she sustained to her leg when the other member tried to rip off her bathing suit. It says here, Flea picked up the woman and began to spin her around on his shoulders, while Smith pulled her bathing suit to one side and began to slap her bottom. Officials said Flea got on top of the woman, asked her to perform a act, then began to simulate the act. After the woman cried for help, the band was escorted away. The woman apparently was picked from the audience at random and has signed a complaint against the band members. An MTV spokeswoman said the performance would be aired this weekend on the cable channel, but the offstage incident would be edited out.
You gotta be kidding me. These guys found the entrance to the ice wall right before I was about to go and discover it for myself in the Antarctic Ocean. I had just organized a group of 4 people out of the 5 that we need, but it looks like the race is on and these guys found it first. What is that over there? Did you see that? It looks like land past Antarctica. I've been saying this the entire time for over a year, especially after this photo got leaked, which is supposedly a drone shot of a city right next to the ice wall in Antarctica, and it is just described like what Admiral Byrd said when he flew over Antarctica 100 years ago, and he saw lush vegetation and new land nobody has ever seen before. But you know what? I can't be too mad at these guys because all they're doing is proving the rest of us right. We know that there's secret land out there that has been hidden from us. And I've been telling you, there's a new age that is about to occur, an age of exploration. And we're going to be expanding. There's going to be a huge boom in technology within the next few years. I'm calling it. Just wait and see.
Gandhi, you warned us about that. Apple an iPhone warning that's going on? There's a lot of scamming going on.
So you'll get an email that looks like it came from Apple and is worded almost exactly as an Apple message would be worded, telling you that you need to re-enter your password because your Apple ID is no longer valid unless you enter your password and you figure it out. So people are putting their passwords in, and of course, then whomever sent that actual email, they're getting access to your phone. They're saying Apple would never send you an email like that.
Like idiot.
It would be a pop-up on your phone, if anything. And typically that doesn't happen anyway. So it's all a scam. Don't fall for it. There's a lot of stuff going around right now with text messages and calls, people getting into your phones. And the best way to avoid it, apparently, is to restart your phone every day. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They say it helps to kind of reset whatever stuff might be trying to get into your phone. Get it out of there.
Okay.
I've been seeing a lot of these clips on the news, just on pop-ups. Is he about to break some news, or is that just the system, the algorithm, getting us to go watch his special? Because that's what happens when you're in the club. Boy, that algorithm, man. If I can just get a little piece of that algorithm where you got this algorithm, daily news, his algorithms on there. It's crazy, y'all. That's what you got to do to get to that level, though. Got to do something. You might be saying it in that comedy special.
And then normal. This just creeps me out, man. I don't even like to be in this room anymore. But I sleep in here. I mean, look at that. That shit is changing right there. Anyway, I just know something weird in that room. And whether or not it has anything to do with these two items.
I was going to say, what kind of paintings are those?
Just pointed out because, like I said, everything was normal until I did that. And then I'm in that room and weird shit's happening. This is just the tip of the iceberg, I've noticed. There's some other stuff that I can't go into right now, but it's something weird going on. So I just wanted to make a video about it and throw it out there and see if you guys have had any experiences like this. I don't see how anyone could, but you never know.
So if you are in a car and you hit that little recirculate air button, let's say you're at that 600-700 level, within about 10 minutes, you could be into the 3,000 range.
Wow.
Like the evacuate the building level range, because the car is, there's a human or 2 or 3 or 4 or 7 breathing in oxygen, breathing out CO2 in a confined space with minimal ventilation, which is why people often get exhausted, especially when you turn on your air conditioner in a hot day. It usually auto recirculates to be more efficient, but you are killing yourself in this little CO2 box. Of course you're tired.
That's interesting.
Prior to me losing my other account, I posted a video while in Sedona of this.
Sedona's crazy.
I want to share some other things I spotted. What does that look like? Because to me it looks like a sphinx, and there's a lot of them that look like that. And that one sits at the base of these. Look at the symmetry. I'm supposed to believe that's lava and water and time. And why does this look like it was something that was destroyed? 2 big slices in it. What about this? It definitely looks like there's block work. There's another one that looks like a sphinx. Looked like it used to be a bigger one, kind of. Sure does look a lot like a step pyramid. There's a lot of those too. Look how perfect. How's water create a ledge like that? Perfect. That's mason work. You can see mason work. Look at the symmetry. And more mason work. There's mason work all over. Big blocks, smaller blocks. I'm gonna have to do a part 2 on this. I actually discovered a lot. However, My personal theory is that the history here is a lie, and that the reason the dirt there is so unique is because there was some type of intentional mud flood.
Yeah, it's crazy. They even have a rock called Snoopy Rock. It looks like Snoopy laying on his back. Looks just like Snoopy. They got a famous hike out there called Devil's Bridge that is a crazy... I didn't go. I'm scared of heights, y'all. Those type of heights, like standing on the edge of a cliff, like 50 feet drop on each side, no railing, nothing, and people walk across that and take pictures. Crazy things in Sedona, y'all. Vortexes, all that. It's my favorite spot to go to, though, when I'm in Arizona. Martial law.
Okay, this is interesting. This is a map of where half of Australia's population lives. That's right, half of the total population of Australia lives in the red areas, and you might notice that you can't notice. That's because it's so tiny compared to the rest of Australia's land area. They're in there. Very much concentrated in the city metro areas. Here's another view of Australia's population per square kilometer. Lights are not on in the thick middle western and everything chunk of Australia. Relative to the land area, not that many places that are hospitable to live in Australia. Even when you look at a map, you think, oh, why don't more people live inland? Because you see there's all these rivers here. No. It's not like the Mississippi. It's not like the US where you can... Well, you probably shouldn't build a city in the middle of the desert, but still.
Vegas.
These rivers are dry most of the year, so it's challenging. They don't need a Phoenix or a Las Vegas. Like, sure, it kind of shows that Australia is a country made up of city-states, but this map does a bad job of showing it because, well, A, it's from the 2011 census, so it's really dated. I don't know, Australia's not just that outback. There's mountains. There's gotta be water. I mean, are there other areas that are extremely sparsely populated that could hypothetically be an option if people were to spread out in Australia?
Karen Parsons. I see a lot of Australian comments down below. Let me know what's going on. Y'all don't... How much is that land out there? It's got to be cheap, right? If there's so much land out there. Tap in below.
Brought me a puzzle as a kid on the set. I went to do the puzzle in Damon's trailer, and it started rocking.
High winds?
It was just moving. And when I went to the room that they were in, and they were... Damon, I'm sorry. You cheated on your wife. You cheated on Lisa Wayans.
They told me they were making a hybrid race.
Threw his ass under the bus.
And for what job? They didn't want... I wanted to know for what, but they never an inkling of what it was for.
I don't know if you guys have seen the video that's going viral out of Arizona this morning of the UAP. I am about to share a brightened clip with you guys because you can see the shape of one of the crafts. Okay, now I brightened this so you can see it better.
Baby, don't move. I'm outside the truck.
Okay. Did you see it? You can see the almost triangular shape with the lights on the top. And there's
Baby,
more than
I'm
one.
outside the truck. Don't move.
Now, her name is Ash, and she posted 2 videos, one last night, and then, of course, it's blowing up, so she posted part 1, which was what they took before they started filming this one. And they're both pretty lengthy videos, and she gets really good footage of whatever these are. This was the one last night, and then this is the one she just uploaded this morning. You guys can go watch it, tell me what you think. There's one really
Bullhead
bright
City.
light, and you can watch the other lights like move towards it, and then there's one on this side that's like almost like it's hiding in the clouds. they almost seem to move around this brighter one, but these two stay in place for the most part. And this was Bullhead City, Arizona. I mean, what do you guys think? I thought this was very, very good footage.
Is Bullhead right there on the border with Laughlin? Like across the street is Laughlin, Nevada, and then Bullhead. Is that Bullhead? What's the city that's right across the street from Laughlin, Nevada? I think it's Bullhead.
And I'm just waiting to see more people post different angles of this because there's no way they were the only people that saw this.
So you should go to sleep with socks and gloves on?
Yeah. Or better still, have a hot bath. When you get into a bath, you get vasodilation. You sort of get rosy cheeks, red skin. All of the blood rushes to the surface. You get out of the bath and you have this massive thermal dump of heat that just evacuates from the body. Your core body temperature plummets. And that's why you sleep better. So you can hack the system very easily.
Wow. So your core body temperature plummets, and that's what makes you sleep easier.
Yeah.
That sounds so counterintuitive.
Yeah.
But it makes sense.
Billionaire CEO Elon Musk and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy say that they want to permanently end daylight saving time once Trump takes office. The pair called for the change in a series of posts on social media. Trump announced Musk and Ramaswamy will lead the new Department of Government Efficiency in his second administration. They're both scheduled to address Republican House and Senate members tomorrow.
Things humans were never meant to see. The Whitakers.
So what are your names? I'm sorry. Who's this?
His name's Ray.
Ray. I remember Ray. I photographed you, Ray. Do you remember? Years ago. And your name is?
Lorraine.
Lorraine. And Timmy.
Yeah.
Now, I believe this was is it an inbred family? Crazy, y'all. Things that are in the middle of nowhere. It's crazy.
Now, you guys grew up here in Odd, West Virginia. How many years have you lived here?
Whole life.
Your whole life. And your family, you lost your brother since I was here last.
Come on, Ray, get out on the porch.
Tell me about your brother.
I'm just now finding out that the English language is a bunch of spells and curses, and William Shakespeare never existed. Hold on. Y'all, I'm literally in my robe about to give you the tea. So I remember seeing this video like a year ago about how the English language is full of curses. And that would make sense because we spell things. We are taught cursive, curse, spell. That's already fishy. It's already being sold to me, but I had to find out more. Then I find out about Sir Francis Bacon, and apparently he ran an occult group called the Spear Shakers that actually impersonated William Shakespeare that we've all learned about in history class. And Francis Bacon and his occult group is actually responsible for putting at least 1,700 words in the English language. I'm sorry, what? I'm just confused because I thought William Shakespeare was married to Anne Hathaway. Like, we're gonna make another video on that. Then I heard about the breakdown of you being awake. You're at a wake. And when you're awake, you say good morning, which morning is what you do at a wake. The weekend is the end of weekdays, like days that you feel weak. You go to work to earn money. And what does the body go in after it's unalived and earn? Okay, even if that's a stretch, y'all know that the enemy rules Hollywood, right? Why am I just finding out that Hollywood is named after Hollywood, which is what they use for like wands and spells and rituals and stuff? And there's literally a blood drop right outside the Hollywood sign that supposedly is painted with real blood. Y'all, it's a whole thing, and I'm falling down the rabbit hole. Do you want to come with me is the question. Then another thing I saw is the fact that all of our slang is centered around negativity, like I'm weak, I'm dead, that's sick, you're killing me. So what I'm hearing is we can't even speak now. That's the vibe I'm getting. All 2025, I'm mute. That's my resolution. I'm not talking no more. At this point, all you can do is laugh. As always, make sure you guys like and follow and comment down below what you think. Is this a reach or are we on to something?
More Arizona. Why Arizona?
I think that's it's.
What if I told you there's a private AI tech company secretly replacing people with AI clones so lifelike that no one even realizes their loved ones are gone? A highly secretive AI company called VoxSynth has developed technology that can replicate someone's voice, mannerisms, and even personality with chilling accuracy. They aren't just making voice assistants or deep fakes. This company is abducting real people, using them as templates to create AI versions of them that seamlessly take over their lives, leaving family, friends, and colleagues completely unaware. VoxSynth targets individuals who live alone, who have minimal social connections, or travel often, people whose disappearance could be quietly covered up. Once someone is taken, the company's AI engineers create an AI clone that replicates the person's voice and personality so well that it can hold phone conversations and send texts to family and friends without raising suspicion. The AI persona tells everyone that they're simply relocating for a new job or traveling somewhere remote, and ensuring no one questions their absence.
Chick-fil-A has their famous lemonade, and it clocks in at 63 grams of sugar, and after I scanned it, 290 calories. Let's measure that.
Ridiculous, y'all. And one little cup of lemonade. Killing us. They're killing us. And making money off of it. Getting rich while they kill us.
So that's either 15 teaspoons or 18 cubes of sugar in this drink.
This is by far the craziest UFO sighting I have been sent so far. And honestly, I'm trying to debunk it myself. I'm asking whether it's balloons, maybe it's some sort of object, but the only thing that comes to mind is a jellyfish UFO, because that's exactly what this looks like. It also looks like those things that are on the Matrix, you know, that are chasing Neo.
I forgot about that.
The systems when they're out of the Matrix. I forget what they're called, but
it does look like those.
Look exactly like that. And by the way, this video comes from a couple of friends who captured this around November 24th, 2024 in Wichita Falls, Texas. Y'all, this video is crazy, and it almost has me thinking we really are in the Matrix. Take a look at this and tell me what you think.
Bro, hold on. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Nah, what?
That's not a kite.
Hey, no, for real, what is it? Hey, I don't know what that is, bro.
Today, his ex-landlord claims he stiffed him on a whopping $300,000 in rent. What happens to the back rent that Hunter Biden owes my family? The landlord vented on social media. Is that pardoned now? Sean McGuire, a wealthy venture capitalist, says he rented this $4.25 million home in trendy Venice Beach, California, to the president's wayward son back in 2019. And Hunter never forked over the rent. Yup, true story, didn't pay rent for over a year. Absolute blank bag. He changed the locks and used Secret Service to enforce.
4 billion years ago, somebody was on this earth. We talk about the ancient history of Egypt 5,000 to 6,000 years ago. That's not ancient. That was yesterday. You want to talk ancient? Yeah. Go to South Africa and Asia where they're drilling mines so far down into the earth, which all paleontologists around the world will agree that at that particular deep point in the earth, which they know to be 3.5 to 4 billion years old. Now they're finding handmade artifacts. 4 billion years ago, somebody was on this earth that knew metallurgy, they knew metals, they knew how to mold and to create handmade things. And then when you begin to look at all of the incredible things which are found in the ocean, like off the coast of Okinawa, there are huge temples in the Pacific Ocean. Off the coast of Cuba, Cuba. There are enormous temples sitting on the ocean floor. And 10 miles north of the island of Bimini in the Bermuda Triangle, in an area that's called the Bahama Banks, is a pyramid sitting on the ocean floor. Now, how many people know that? And most important, how many people give a damn?
I truly believe it. I think we've been here millions, billions, and I just think when the world resets, all these preppers that got years of prep, sea becomes land. They last, what? Be generous, 10 years underground in their little bunkers. They run out of food, but the world resets every million some years, right? So that's what I think. That's what I think happens. Land becomes sea, sea becomes land. We got to start over, adapt, start doing things, new technology, a different type of vibe from what we're doing here. That's what I think happens, y'all. And the pyramids are super old. They're just some land and sea changes over I don't know how many times. But that's what I think happens. What do you guys think? Think I'm crazy?
From the research today that depression is inflammation in the brain, that autism is inflammation in the brain, that ADD and dementia are inflammation in the brain. And if that's true, then the question is, what's causing the inflammation? How do you stop it? How do you fix it?
You have to get your gut right, because having this thing, and I'm a psychiatrist, I didn't know one thing about leaky gut until I read the Ultramind Solution. And then I'm like, oh, you have to get your gut right, because if your gut's not right, your brain's not right. You're likely to have things get inside your body that have no business in your body, which causes an autoimmune or an inflammatory response. So food really matters. Sugar is pro-inflammatory, and foods that quickly turn to sugar, bread, pasta, potatoes, rice, you often say eat them like a condiment. So diet really does matter. And our processed foods are loaded with pro-inflammatory omega-6s. They're not the right choice.
The presidential pardon was originally meant to grant the president the power to temper justice with mercy. It was not enshrined in our Constitution so that a dishonorable man could reward his criminal allies, friends, and family for their corrupt practices. I don't have a problem with Biden pardoning his son. He should have pardoned him. The crazies are coming, right? But to me, it's like, pardon more.
I wish I could react to these things, y'all. Do you guys know how these big channels get away with reacting? Is it because my second channel is so small? Because on my very, very small channel, which is just this reaction without me in it, just the compilation, I got a warning, you know, that I'm going to get a strike. And I reacted to that same video on my big channel and I didn't get nothing. So is that it? If you got a bigger channel, they're less strict with it? I have no idea, but I would love to react to those things and just give my 2 cents on everything.
I defend and depose were the words inscribed on the bullets used to kill United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Police sources told ABC News the bullet casings were found at the scene with cryptic messages left on them. Detectives are now working to determine what the words mean and if they could possibly hint at a motive for the slaying of the 50-year-old.
They stepped over his body and started the meeting on time. He was in Manhattan at 7 a.m. for an 8 a.m. investor meeting. He got in front of the main doors to the building of the investor. They could have had this shit on Zoom. Instead, they had to be there in person. Why they had to be there in person? Because we need to make sure commercial real estate is flourishing. He got by an assassin with a silencer while he wore a jacket thinking about PowerPoint presentations on how he is returning value to shareholders by denying health care to moms with breast cancer. And he got caught in the street and they stepped over his body. Those investors that he was working for, the shareholders that he held dear as a CEO, they stepped over his pool of blood. They kicked the shell casings that led to the end of his life down the street because the meeting still had to start on time. These companies don't give a fuck about nobody. He's the CEO, the chief executive officer of a healthcare company. They fucking didn't even check to see if he still had a pulse. They just wanted to check the stock price, which, mind you, went up 2.5% when they found out his ass was dead. Do less at work.
The gunman that killed the United Health CEO wrote, defend, deny, depose on the bullet. This was personal. New York City is offering 10 grand for any information on this guy. You think New Yorkers are gonna give up John Wick for 10K?
I'll fucking kill you.
If anybody saw that guy, no, they didn't. I have a feeling this is just the beginning.
I'm about to show you a video of these two UFOs being shot down over a military base in Afghanistan, and it has changed everything I think about UFOs. Watch.
Two are hit by a missile. They seem
Look
to
at them.
explode, then reappear undamaged.
They are plasma. UFOs are plasma. I'm almost damn near positive of this at this point. But did you see the way that when they got shot with that missile, they just came back together like a jelly? This is a still shot from right after the UFOs were hit with the missile. And you can see that doesn't look like a busted up aircraft. That looks like a plasma cloud or something. Back in 2023, Avi Loeb and Sean Kirkpatrick, who was the director of Arrow at the time, put out a theory that there was a mothership in our solar system and it was sending probes to Earth, like dandelion seeds basically, and they were self-replicating probes as well. Wouldn't it make sense if they were plasma probes? Does that not check out? That makes sense, right? Because we don't recover UFO crafts that get shot down, or do we? We don't really know at this point. These two UFOs look damn near identical, and the way they explode is damn near identical. I could buy the self-replicating bit. Have you noticed that there are more UFO sightings happening nowadays? Yes, people are more comfortable reporting them because they won't be looked at like they're crazy anymore. But could it be because this plasma has finally self-replicated into enough dandelion seeds?
Does the firmament touch the earth?
From Wikipedia.org. The firmament is said to be made of solid ice occupying the space between the earth and the first heaven.
Alexa, can anyone get through the firmament?
From Substack.com. NASA used high-altitude explosives to try and penetrate the firmament, and what they filmed of the operation was the result of their explosives creating massive watery wave propagation above them as they hit the quasi-vitreous dome above the Earth known as the firmament.
There it is.
Alexa, is anyone able to get to space from going through the firmament?
No one is able to reach space by going through the firmament. The firmament is considered to be a barrier that has never been penetrated by humans, not even in science fiction or NASA's outer space movies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This isn't just a joke. We're in front of Congress talking about this.
Yeah.
The breakdown of the different UAPs. So there's like the sphere, the orb, and then it says the triangular UAP, arrowhead, and irregular organic, which they said it looks like a brain with arms, like the jellyfish thing.
Yeah.
It's not a one-time occurrence. Like these are all very much reported on. They have footage, thermal, radar, all that stuff. My opinion, they're setting the stage for a potential attack. But what I thought was crazy, remember in 1561 in Nuremberg, Germany?
Yeah, the UFO war.
Well, the UFOs that they described is every single one on this list. The one that stuck out to me the most was the arrowhead one. 1561. Let me just read this from the Nuremberg thing real quick. Quote, many men and women of Nuremberg saw an aerial battle out of the sun, followed by the appearance of a large black triangle object and combatant spheres falling to earth in clouds of smoke. The witnesses observed hundreds of cylinders and other odd-shaped objects that moved erratically overhead. It's the whole list.
Yeah, man.
Dude, that's terrifying.
Got signed to Sony, it still kind of fucks me up because when you have that much talent and you still got to suck to get your demo tape approved. Everybody knows what happened between her and Tommy Mottola in that motherfucking shit on the way to her first listening party. They seen her coming up from giving him the back of the shit, and everybody knew. Everybody talked about it. That's why she got the access that she got. She ended up marrying him, didn't she? Then she made him divorce his wife and made him fight her for alimony and child support after that woman had been married to him for 25 years. Whole shit is whole shit. Music shit is music shit. Worst thing that ever happened to females in music was that they started using whole shit to market music. I think about how
this lady was talking about water is like an intelligent designer, like water has intelligence. Like we don't necessarily know what water is yet because she shows water these pictures and then they make these ice interpretations of the pictures. She showed them, for example, she showed water this walrus and then this was its ice interpretation. And then she showed it like grapes and then that's how water interpreted grapes. And then she put her finger in it, and then it interpreted even with like the crack in the nail. And then it got like more bizarre. So this is where I'm not sure. This is where I want to experiment. So she wrote ego on a piece of paper. It froze the word ego. And then this is how it interpreted ego. Big head, big shoulders. So this lady's saying that water is an intelligent designer. So she's obviously in a lab or something. I'm going to try to experiment in my own kitchen. She obviously has like microscopes or something. I'm going to use like a baking tray. And then I'm going to put like a picture at the bottom and try to freeze it. I don't know how I'm going to like look at the ice fixtures. Like, 'cause I think she puts hers under a microscope, but I don't know. Let's do it. I don't know why I feel like I need filtered water for this, but okay, I want to do a thin layer because I want to do like an ice sheet. I want to do a word interpretation like she did ego. Let's do love. And let's see how, oh, that's hard to write. Let's see how water interprets love. All right. Come back in 3 hours. You guys, I'm a little bit freaking out right now. Tell me that does not say love right there. Hold on, it's a little bit... Am I just freaking out? Or does it say L-O-V? I don't know, I have to do this again. I'm a little bit shooken though. Shooken. Right there, like my finger's even shaking. L-O, I see it. Sort about this.
Okay, so here we have the new ATMs here at UVA Credit Union in Berkmar in Charlottesville, Virginia. Looks like they're made by Yall, but the thing that looks kind of like the buildings there in Wuhan, China. This looks like a bar to possibly scan your license plate or your vehicle. Down here we have ID card scan, I assume for vaccination cards. Over here we have a palm vein scan, which looks like possible microchips. And so what they're going to do is they're going to require mandatory vaccinations for all Americans and all of your children. And if you do not, comply with them, then they are not going to allow you to have access to your money. They will take your children. You will not have any kind of benefits. But they will give you the option to opt out, to give you free will to make it your own choice.
So look, I need to tell you what those aliens told those kids in Zimbabwe when they touched down on the playground in 1994. But first, to do that, we need to pay our respects to Miss Emily Trim. She was one of those children on the playground back in 1994, and she recently passed away from a battle of cancer. She was an artist, and she created some dope-ass paintings that we're going to look at in 1 minute. But the UFO encounter impacted her entire life. She spoke at several conferences and became a UFO advocate and helped many people on their path finding the truth. What did she see that day that impacted her so much to paint stuff like this? Emily and the other students all said that the beings had very large dark eyes that almost drew you into eye contact, and once you were looking at them, it was almost these telepathic messages coming through, and it was an overwhelming feeling that we needed to save the environment. The student said that it was an overwhelming feeling that we needed clean air, beautiful trees, beautiful plants, and clean soil to thrive and live on this planet, and we were ruining it. Overall, the message that these beings wanted to communicate to these children in Zimbabwe was that the people on Earth were not taking care of the Earth. We were destroying it with certain powers. Now, what were those powers? They didn't say specifically. People have taken it to mean nuclear power, but we can't be sure. But let's talk about these paintings for 1 second, because there's a lot of symbolism in these paintings. And if you know, we've got the eye, we've got the pyramid, we've got this, we've got the orbs down here. There's a lot going on. Rest in peace to this beautiful artist.
Wow.
My supervisor, Napoleon Harris. Yo, this is crazy. Yo. The motion has been seconded. All in favor of the Napoleon Harris slate being nominated for the April 1st consolidated. I nominate myself.
feels so good. I've seen so many videos on her, like First Amendment auditors that try to go get her, and she's a bad woman, y'all. A bad woman. Public humiliation for her right here. Look at her. The people don't want you, just leave. Beautiful. That's what you get. Putting yourself first instead of the people.
What happened, Tiffany? What happened?
Here's what she said before the caucus began.
They can't beat me. If they could beat me, they would have went to the polls. What do you mean? I will be victorious tonight. You will see. My people are here. They're not going to go nowhere. The show will go on.
Her allies now figuring out their next steps.
This is the biggest. This is the biggest. This is a fraud.
Damn it. Messed up a little bit with the editing, y'all. I apologize. That music was supposed to be playing over this, but he's using some batteries to do some stuff. Check it out. Light up the light bulb. Is this legit? I don't know. I mean, it looks like an easy experiment to do. It's crazy, y'all. It's California. Right before the earthquake. November 30th.
What the fuck that is, man? Hey, stop playing, man. What the fuck that is, man?
Pretty cool, though.
What the fuck is that, man? Hey, that's a meteor. What? That's a meteor, what?
It's crazy.
I'm laughing at you, dog. That shit sounded good.
Bro, what the fuck is that, man?
This one's crazy. Out of all the UFO footage I've seen, I've never seen something that looks like this. Look at that. It looks like one of those deep sea jellyfish with the lights in. What on earth are we looking at? I'm sure if it was AI. It's AI.
This doesn't make sense. The Kailasa Temple is one of humanity's greatest wonders, carved entirely from a single rock. With a foundation dating back thousands of years, legends claim that the main temple was built in just 18 years. But how is this possible? The symmetry is so perfect and the details so precise that they seem like the work of advanced technology, almost like lasers. And the most intriguing part, there are no records of its creation. Could the true history behind this temple be hidden? What secrets would Kailasa reveal?
This situation's not adding up. Let me tell you why. There's something much bigger going on with this situation. So first, a brief recap for people who don't know. This girl, the Hawk-Tuah girl, came out of nowhere, made a meme coin, and scammed everyone for $1 million. Allegedly. By the way, it's all alleged, in my opinion, all for fun. Before we get into these supposed leaked messages, the way the entire thing started makes no sense. She makes an innuendo, and all of a sudden she's famous, but not just famous. Right when this happens, she starts being with the top celebrities, and the people who opened the door for the game.
See the algorithm? What you got to do to get in that club? Like, Who's this girl? She was at a bar drinking one night, said something, the algorithm picked it up, and now she's sitting next to all these stars. It's just fishy, y'all.
For those who don't know, there's a process to fame, and there's an order of steps you must take. But we're not talking about that here. And not just Shaq and the other celebrities, but she was with Cuban talking about investing in crypto before this whole thing happened. Talk about perfect placement. So what am I getting at? There's some really big things going on, and everyone's attention is drawn right here.
Horrible launches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, then why the f are you on?
I've been tracing it on chain for a while. You guys generated over $1 million in fees while y'all's fans got rug pulled.
Some people are quite literally above the law. Pause to read. Now pause to read what's happening at the same time, which has been happening for days. Read this behind me. There's a massive spiritual shift happening right now when we are literally seeing other dimensions and other wild, crazy things seemingly are about to happen, and this generated rise to fame is taking all the eyes away from this situation going on right now. That's not all that's going on, that's just all I can say. Your homework, go look at her connections. Wild.
So did you know Dora the Explorer lives inside a computer, and that the ending of the word computer in Spanish is Dora? That's why she has a little cursor following her around, clicking on things. That's why there's a Fox, Mozilla Firefox. The whole point of her exploring is because there was a browser called Internet Explorer.
We have some big picture stuff coming down the pike starting on January 21st. Mr. Bloomberg mentioned H5N1. That I'm really worried about. It's all over wild birds on the western part of the United States and going up in the north. It's getting into the poultry. We're seeing sporadic human cases, no human-to-human transmission yet, but that could happen. It's in the cattle, it's in the milk, and that's just the beginning. We have another major coronavirus likely brewing in Asia. We've had SARS in 2002, SARS-2, COVID-19 in 2019. And we know these viruses are jumping from bats to people thousands of times a year, but there's still more. We know that we have a big problem with mosquito-transmitted viruses all along the Gulf Coast, where I am here in Texas. So we're expecting dengue and possibly Zika virus coming back, or a Puche virus, maybe even yellow fever. And there's more. Then we have all this sharp rise in vaccine preventable diseases going up because of, in part, the anti-vaccine activism that's so prominent right now. We have a 5-fold rise in pertussis cases, whooping cough over the last year, 15 measles outbreaks this year. We've got polio that's been in the wastewater in New York State. All that's going to come crashing down on January 21st on the Trump administration. We need a really, really good team to be able to handle this.
Dumbass. Oh, breaking news. Kamala Harris and Doug Emhoff are reportedly separating amid allegations of infidelity involving a campaign staff member. What's your reaction? My reaction is, I told you this shit weeks ago.
Not Dougie. Man, we love Dougie.
Weeks ago.
Didn't take long, right?
I said, now that she did not win, now that the campaigning is over, now that she no longer needs to have a man on her arm in order to look normal, right? They're going to split up. There was no way they're not going to split up. You had the news that came out during the campaign trail that Doug Emhoff likes to slap a hoe. He hit some ex-girlfriend or something. We already know that he diddled the nanny and knocked her up. And there's just not anything good about that man. He came across as more of a fan of Tim Walz than Kamala Harris. Definitely a bigger fan of Joe Biden. That's who he was making out with, basically kissing her on the lips, and not his wife. They always like kiss each other on the cheek. He feels very closeted. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Hang out in your closet. I don't really care. You do you, boo. I'm just saying. I never ever bought it. I didn't believe it. They've been married for a while, but I also think they got married so that she could start her campaign trail, not for this one, but ahead of time, to go ahead and be married and have that settled. So that when she started putting her name out there in the 2020 race, that it was not frowned upon as a single whatever ethnicity she claims to be female, right? She had to get married, and there has to be kids, obviously, because you can't just be married. You got to have some kids in there too. So now that she has lost, and not only has she lost, she just destroyed her chance of ever being the president of the United States. That she's just absolutely stupid. There's no reason for Doug Emhoff to hang around.
I'm Greg Wallace, and I'm off to visit Good Harvest, where a whopping 6 tons of human meat is engineered every day. That is stunning! With the promise of cheap meat for all, it may well be the meaty miracle we need to ease the squeeze of the cost of. I couldn't wait to see the mysteries that lay inside. How do you solve the cost of living crisis with engineered human meat? It sounds like magic. And this is where the magic happens. The Good Harvest processing plant has been up and running for over 8 months. It contains both industrial and clinical operations on a site the size of 4 football pitches. Hey, are you Mick?
I certainly am. Pleased to meet you, Greg.
Very good to meet you. I'm here to learn.
Right, come this way and I'll show you how it all works.
I want to see everything.
Oh, you will.
Mick Ross oversees the production line.
You can't read it, but it says eating human meat in 2025, cost of living crisis in UK. I got a few fans, few family members out there in the UK, CaveFam. This seems scripted, but is this going on out there? Speak to me.
And is in charge of over 60 full-time staff who engineer roughly 50,000 steaks every day.
What's going on here?
Yo, check this out.
Heil Satan.
How many members are part of your church?
In South Africa at the moment, there's just over 12,000 Satanists. And then suddenly, yeah, it was there, like in front of my face.
Who was there?
Jesus. And because I've never believed in Christ up to that point. And being extremely scientifically minded and an atheist and all of those things, I said no. Like, this is either a demon playing a trick with me, or I am hallucinating. I said to him, I'm scared. And he flooded me with love, with so much love. And I said to him, but I don't believe it. I can't believe this because I've looked for this my whole life. I said, well, no, you've never opened yourself up for it.
Type Jesus reigns if you know he reigns.
Look, nothing in the sky at all. Then all of a sudden, bam! What is that? Anybody tell me what that is? We're in the middle of the ocean. On a ferry. Nothing around. Look. Nothing around. No land.
All right, family, there you have it. Good hour banger for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope I made your Friday night that much better. We got some things to do, y'all. Tomorrow's a baby shower. Baby's gonna be here at the end of next month. That's the due date. Might be here earlier, might be here a little later. I don't know, but we gotta get ready, y'all. We got a baby shower tomorrow. We're having some, what are we having? We're having some red chili, rice and beans, nachos. I'll probably go get a couple pizzas from Sam's Club for the kids that are gonna be here. Did some things today, put some bathroom decorations up, hung up some shelves. Front yard, backyard's nice. We got the tables and chairs coming today. It's gonna be a cold day. It's a cold day today. Nice, drizzly, windy, cloudy day today, so it's cold out. But I got to go to the shoe store, get some shoes. Got to go get some meat for dinner today, and that's the plan, y'all. That's the plan. Girl's out getting her hair done. She hasn't got her hair done in a while, so she's all excited at the hair salon getting her hair done. And so that's what I'm gonna do, y'all. That's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna go get some shoes. I'm gonna go get some meat for dinner today. Anything else, y'all? If you guys made it this far, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all. Appreciate that. What emoji are we gonna use today? What emoji are we going to use today? If you made it this far, put something to do with hiking in the chat. It can be a pine tree. It can be some hiking shoes. It can be somebody running. It can be the mountains. It can be a cactus. Whatever landmarks in your, there's cactuses where I'm at. Leave something like that in the chat, y'all. I need to get out there and hike. If I see all those all in the comments, I'm gonna get out there and hike, y'all. But anyways, I gotta get going, y'all. Hope everyone out there has a good Friday night. I'm gonna see you guys on Saturday. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Mad Cave. Love y'all, Cave fam. Later.